Welcome to the London Outlook for Wednesday, 28th February 2024. Starting off with the economic calendar, we have one significant red folder news event being GDP for the USD, particularly applicable to the New York session. However, having said that, due to the significance of the news event, any trade positions taken in the London session will be closed at the London lull, and any entries will be prohibited from being taken 2 hours before the London lull. I'll highlight those times on my charts, but as we move forward, let's just keep this in mind. So starting off with the daily chart, what we can see is that yesterday we actually did have a bearish close day after multiple consecutive bullish candles, essentially meaning that from a daily consecutive candle bias perspective, we're in a neutral state. Then moving from a 4-hour perspective, in this regard, nothing really has changed from the previous day's outlook. We still have confirmed the extension of this pullback leg right here due to the candle body break that we validated on Friday. However, in terms of counter trend longs, we'll wait for this reaction to this pullback last point of supply to support any counter trend longs with the objective of targeting the substructure high right here and potentially to go deeper into the pro trend extreme. But for the time being, the most prominent reaction is this pro trend extreme, and the idea being to short with the objective of targeting this void swing ERL right there. Moving on to the 5-minute, knowing that from a higher time frame narrative perspective, the primary idea is to short, we can identify that the deepest reaction to the pro trend extreme will be resulted in this leg being created. However, since Friday, all the way until Tuesday, we haven't extended this leg, suggesting that we're in a range, and thus for that reason we won't consider anticipating where a current day high or low may form. Obviously, we primarily focus on shorting, so we won't anticipate that the current day high of the day may form somewhere in this area, because we essentially in a range, and that means that we'll primarily focus on unbacking the current day's price action. Looking at today, what we do have to support shorting as an additional confluence is we have two previous Asia session lows that were unliquidated or not liquidated. Excuse me, that were not liquidated, and that essentially means that it's an extra confluence for shorting. Obviously, what it looks like right now is that we're pretty much going to take out this Asia liquidity from 2 days ago pretty soon, but we'll still have one additional one remaining. But having said all of that, what are we looking for in the current day to trade in the London session? Essentially, I'm waiting for the pre-Asia high of the day to be validated, and to be liquidated, this Asia range high to be liquidated, and in an ideal scenario, I'd hope that the current day Asia low would remain unliquidated, which would mean that we can be slightly more aggressive in getting into a trade when we create that Frankfurt or London high of the days. Obviously, there's no red folder London news event, so in order to validate a London high of the day, we'd have to wait for New York to be validated. Additionally, to validate the Asia high of the day is likely to hold, we need New York news to suggest to us that the Asia high of the day will hold, aka we need a red folder news event to support why a Asia high of the day should hold. In terms of significant times to be aware of, 11 a.m. my time, which is 2 hours before the London lull, any entries that may be valid cannot be triggered after this point in time. Any open trades will be closed at this point in time, i.e. being the London lull, and then this is when the GDP news for the USD comes out. That's 30 minutes after the New York session. So essentially between the London lull and the New York news release, I won't be in any positions. So to summarize, what is London outlook? Key point number 1 is we're looking for shorts, and key point number 2 is that any trades can be taken between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. That's the trading window for today. And then any open positions taken in that trading window must be closed by the time of the London lull, and no trades may be open at the time of the GDP news release. In terms of the actual news release, we'll talk about that in a New York outlook. Other than that, I hope you have a good trading session, and we'll chat again for the New York outlook.